I knew it wasn't going anywhere and that he couldn't control the charm, but I also couldn't help hoping that this was more than his normal charm and actual flirting. It seemed unlikely, just as much as I wasn't dating because of my string of bad dates, coupled with my inability to tell people how I really felt. Julian hadn't been dating the last couple months either. He'd been dating Ashley Sinclair for 2 years when he found out that she was trying to sabotage the winery to get him to work for her father, a real estate mogul here in Lubbock. Their breakup had been swift and brutal, and he hadn't dated since. "Come on, let me show you the cellars while we're down here," Julian said, opening the cellar door. I'd already had a full tour. Ever since Julian and Holland had offered me a spot as the company wedding photographer, I'd been all in on Wright Vineyard. For more than 3 years, I'd been working weddings and elopements as a travel photographer. I went all over the country and the Caribbean. I even shot a wedding in Bali. Bali. But it had been hard, being gone every weekend and most weekdays from April to October, especially since I found it impossible to say no to clients. And not every wedding was as much of a dream as the trip to Bali. They were a lot of hard work, and I liked the idea of having a full-time job here in town. Then I got to pick and choose which elopements to photograph. It was an easy way for me to say no to potential brides without saying no. But I couldn't say no to Julian either, nor did I want to. So I stepped into the cellars and breathed in the wine fermentation. It was a particular smell that I was coming to enjoy, especially with the added benefit of free wine on the job. Julian was regaling me with stories about the different vintages. I only half listened. From the moment he'd decided to purchase the winery, he'd been full deep dive into winemaking and running the business. This was his life, and even if I only understood half of it, it was interesting to hear his excitement. The cellars were at least relatively deserted, and we made it all the way down and around the corner uninterrupted. Julian stopped in front of his office. "Well, that completes the tour. Show should be starting soon," he said. "Probably should get you backstage." I nodded. Probably. Despite the fact that I'd said no guys for 90 days and I wanted the entire summer to myself, I didn't want to walk away from Julian. It was impossible anyway. Probably stupid to even consider. Then his eyes rounded in circles as he looked over my shoulder. I turned to find none other than Ashley Sinclair on the property. "What is she doing here?" I whispered. As far as I knew, all Sinclairs were banned from the premises. "I have no idea." Julian reached out and grabbed my hand. I looked back at him in surprise. "I really don't want to find out." "What?" But he put a finger to his lips and then tipped his head back. Without a word, he pulled me into his office, decisively shutting the door behind him. The lights were off, and I could hear our breathing in the space as we waited to see if Ashley had seen us. "What are you doing?" I barely breathed. He hadn't dropped my hand, and he squeezed it. "It's opening day. I don't want to deal with her." "I thought she wasn't allowed on the property." His sigh was audible. "She isn't." "Do you think she saw you?" I whispered. He didn't respond. We lingered in the silence of that dark space, the heat between us potent, an energy crackling that I'd never felt before. It started at the top of my head and ran all the way to the tips of my toes. I could lean in and our bodies would touch. I wanted to, even knowing it was stupid. We were hiding from his ex. This wasn't anything. "I think she's gone." He breathed softly. I felt him pull away, and then, against all odds, the door to the office began to open. I saw a flash of bleached blonde hair and creamy white skin. Ashley had seen us. I heard Julian's quick intake of breath and the two simple words that turned my life upside down. "Forgive me." His lips crashed down on mine, and there was no longer air left in the world. There was simply this moment as I drowned in him and forgot what it meant to breathe.